Ukraine may be preparing surprises to destroy the illegal Kerch Bridge, which connects temporarily occupied Crimea with the Krasnodar region of the Russian Federation. Ukrainian military expert Mikhail Zyrokov said this on Radio NV. In particular, he was asked his opinion about the sea drones with a machine gun module installed, which was seen in the SBU video during the attack on Russian aircraft and boats in the Kerch Bay. The expert noted that some Western analysts were quick to suggest that sea drones are supposedly ineffective. What the Turks had at the experimental level, at the level of prototypes as we see the installation of machine guns or anti-craft missiles, we already have it working, and I think that there are still certain surprises that are most likely being held back for a strike on the main target in occupied Crimea. This is the Kerch Bridge itself, which I think will soon become the #1 target for both missile men and sea drones, Zyrokov said. As media reported on the night of December the 6th, the SBU's Sea Baby naval drones hit Russian helicopters, planes, and a barge of Russian occupiers in the Kerch Bay. There are killed and wounded among the occupiers. The barge was transporting military equipment and equipment for repairing the Crimean Bridge. The newest Sea Babies were equipped with large caliber machine guns with ballistic programs for automatic guidance and automatic target acquisition. Ukrainian Armed Forces Colonel Roman Svitan said that at least 3 primary types of warheads are necessary to destroy the Crimean Bridge. A coordinated attack on the crossing would yield results. Ballistic ATACMS missiles can cause significant damage to the bridge's structure, as the warhead mass of the M48 and M57 version is 225 kilograms. Launching 10 such missiles at one point could disable the Crimean Bridge. If a similar number of cruise missiles such as Taurus, Storm Shadow or Scalp are used, the likelihood of the bridge's complete destruction is even higher. This can also be supplemented with drones and ADM-160 decoy missiles, ensuring a comprehensive attack. At least 3 main types of warheads, namely ATACMS cruise missiles and unmanned boats, would suffice if they strike the same point, Svitan stated. According to him, even if Russian air defense and coastal guards destroy half of the attacking means, the chances of the bridge's destruction remain high. After the primary strike, Ukrainian Neptune missiles could finish off the damaged sections of the bridge, complicating its restoration.
Moscow has carefully read the statement by U.S. President-elect Donald Trump calling for an immediate ceasefire in Ukraine, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said in a conference call with reporters Sunday. President Putin has repeatedly said that Russia is open to negotiations on Ukraine and welcomes peace initiatives, Peskov said. In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump claimed that Moscow and Kiev have both lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers in a war that should never have started. Trump's remarks came after a meeting Saturday with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and his French counterpart, Emmanuel Macron, that Zelensky later described as constructive. In order to enter a peaceful trajectory, Zelensky only needs to cancel this decree and give instructions to resume dialogue based on the Istanbul agreements and taking into account the realities on the ground, Peskov added. In a social media update Sunday, Zelensky asserted that Kiev has so far lost 43,000 soldiers since February 24, 2022, while a further 370,000 have been wounded. The Kremlin spokesman denied these figures, saying that Ukraine's losses are many times higher than Russia's. Commenting on the situation in Syria, Peskov referred to the statement of the Russian Foreign Ministry. In a post on the Telegram messaging app on Sunday, the ministry claimed that Bashar Assad had left Syria after negotiations with rebel groups, and gave instructions to transfer power peacefully, adding that Moscow had not directly participated in these talks. It also said Russian troops stationed in Syria have been put on high alert and that as of early afternoon Sunday, there was no serious threat to the security of Russia's military bases there. Russia has waged a military campaign in Syria since September 2015, teaming up with Iran to allow Assad's government to fight armed opposition groups and reclaim control over most of the country. While Russia now concentrates the bulk of its military resources in Ukraine, it has maintained a military foothold in Syria and keeps troops at its bases there.
Мы внимательно ознакомились с заявлением избранного президента США Дональда Трампа, которое он сделал после встречи в Париже с Макроном и Зеленским. Президент Путин неоднократно говорил о том, что Россия открыта для переговоров по Украине. и приветствует мирные инициативы, исходящие в первую очередь от стран глобального юга. Зеленский своим декретом запретил самому себе и своей администрации любые контакты с российским руководством. Эта их позиция не меняется. Между тем, для выхода на мирную траекторию Зеленскому достаточно отменить этот свой декрет и дать указания о возобновлении диалога на базе стамбульских договоренностей и с учетом реалий, складывающихся на земле. Что касается приведенных цифр о потерях с обеих сторон, то очевидно, что они изложены в украинской трактовке и отражают официальную позицию Украины. Реальные цифры потерь совершенно другие. Украинские потери кратно превышают потери с российской стороны. Что касается Сирии, то наша позиция изложена в соответствующем заявлении Министерства иностранных дел Российской Федерации.
Russia has reached out to Turkey for support in ensuring the safe withdrawal of its troops from Syria following the downfall of Bashar al-Assad's regime. Russian forces plan to leave Syria, retaining only two strategic locations, the naval base in Tartus and the Khmeimim air base. Troops are expected to be transported to areas controlled by Turkish forces and flown back to Russia from there. According to the CNN Turk channel, Russia has already submitted a request to Ankara to help organize the safe exit of its military. Obviously, the Russians will withdraw their manpower from the battlefield, with the exception of the Tartus naval base and the Khmeimim air base, the TV channel reports. It appears that Russian military personnel will be sent to a region controlled by Turkish forces and then flown to Russia by air. The influence of Iran's puppet forces in Syria has also long since diminished, CNN Turk notes. Recall, the armed opposition has captured the capital, Damascus, leading President Bashar al-Assad to flee the country. The Assad dynasty had governed Syria since 1971, maintaining power through repression and terror. During the civil war, Russia and Iran were key allies of the Syrian regime. By contrast, the Turkish foreign minister, Hakan Fidan, also a former head of Turkish intelligence, surrounded by a vast entourage, said little in public, sensing his country may be the biggest external beneficiary of Assad's fall. Turkey has at its disposal the umbrella group of Syrian militias called the Syrian National Army and a relationship of sorts with HTS. But with power comes responsibility. More than any other country in the region, it has the power to help Syrians form the independent consensus government their long struggle for liberation deserves.